for some audio.
You can take your mask off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I shouldn't.
Okay.
Who's Grizzly Adams? Yeah, thanks, Tyler.
What do we have?
Just your standard regular lunch, I guess.
Milk?
Soup. Apple juice.
I can read. PB&J with the crusts cut off. Well, Brian, this is a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are represented. Did your mom marry Mr. Rogers?
Oh, no, Mr. Johnson.
Oh.
Here's my impression of life at Big Bry's house.
Son? Yeah, Dad? How was your day, pal?
Great, Dad. How's yours?
Super. Say, son, how'd you like to go fishing this weekend?
Great, Dad. But I've got homework to do.
That's all right, son. You can do it on the boat.
Gee.
Dear, isn't our son swell? Yes, dear. Isn't life swell?
Oh. Oh.
All right. What about your family?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's real easy.
Stupid, no good, an embarrassment to the family name. I think a gypsy left you on the doorstep as an infant because you gotta be an orphan. You don't have what it takes to be a Stefani. Get in the car, meathead. I'm embarrassed to be seen out in public with you. You look and dress like a bum. You're weak. Stop crying. A man isn't supposed to cry. You're acting like a little girl. A Stefani can't do mathematics? You must be an idiot. If you cry one more time, you're going to have to take another punch from me. Etc., etc., etc. The chap that you just saw on the screen, that was me back in high school. Certainly not proud of it, but I was a bully. Fact. Children aren't born to become bullies. It's something that's taught. In my case, it came from my father. From a young age, toddler, 3 years old, I was emotionally, verbally, and physically abused by my dad. My father, when he was sober, even at a young age, was a man I really didn't even know. A guy who watched the news or would pretend he was composing to Beethoven. My father had a debilitating problem with alcohol. And when he got into the alcohol, he got mean. And I mean really mean. Classic Jekyll and Hyde. 2 personalities. Out of those 2 personalities, I managed to draw the short straw and got to know my father playing the role of Mr. Hyde. My father, you see, was angry with life. He had his own trauma from his childhood and adolescence from the savage beatings and harsh admonishments he got from my Opus Stefani. By the time my father had met my mom, he was already a broken down, angry alcoholic. From a young age, I had to watch my mother get smacked around by my father, which probably explains the strong bond that I have with my mother that still continues to exist today. So try to imagine this. I'm in grade 3. My mom's diagnosed with cancer, and I'm a child envisioning an uncertain future with my alcoholic father and having to worry about protecting my younger brother. And I did. I often would protect my little brother from my dad's wrath. I'd tell my brother to go hide when my dad got drunk, and I'd go out and face him. All the while, my mom was at St. Joe's trying to beat cancer. Was I angry? I don't think anger is the word for what I was feeling. I was full of fear. I was lonely, and I had a case of irrational rage. Out in the playground, I took these feelings out on my peers. If another child looked at me the wrong way, I would beat him up. In grade 5, I beat up a classmate so badly that he needed medical attention. I clearly remember the two of us being brought in from recess. Curtis was covered in blood, and he was crying like I've never seen. I was so ashamed. I remember the teacher who brought us in looking at me and saying, "You animal." It hurt. It hurt so bad. I wanted so badly to convey to my story, but times were different when I was a child. We don't have the awareness that we have now. Thank God things have evolved, forgive me. This pattern continued through high school. My compulsion for violence, history of violence. The gang that I hung out with, we were all the same. We were all John Benders. Like a pack of wolves, we'd sense someone who was weak, and we would go out and set to make their lives miserable. At the age of 19, I enrolled in the University of Toronto. Then I got the news my father had passed away in a bar due to alcohol and prescription drugs. I had to identify his body at the morgue at Joe Brandt. With my father gone, you've never seen a young man flee a university campus faster. Reason for this? I wasn't there for me. The only reason I was there was to please my father. All I ever wanted, all I ever dreamed of was for my father's approval. After university and me fleeing from the University of Toronto, I did 180 and I became a roofer. Back in the early 90s, if you roofed and you were the new guy, you got hazed, much like you do in the military and certain other branches of things. I passed this hazing period with flying colors. What these guys were doing to me was a picnic compared to what I'd been through. So with the hazing complete, I became one of the boys. At first it felt great, although this feeling quickly evaporated when a new young man joined our roofing crew. He was younger than us. We called him Junior. And my roofing buddies were exceptionally cruel with him. I don't want to get into details, but one incident sticks out in my mind forever and changed me irrevocably. The boys grabbed Junior, made a noose, put it on Junior's neck, and threw him into the garbage trailer from the roof. At this point, I guess you could call what I was feeling was a moment of clarity, full clarity. I cussed out my gang of roofing buddies and told them what they could have done could have killed Junior. What if his head had hit the iron on the corners of the bin? What if Junior had landed on a bed of roofing nails? After my heated rant, I went and I managed to fish Junior out of the garbage trailer. Junior began to sob. And I did something I never thought I'd do. I hugged him. I knew exactly how he felt. So I took him out to lunch, left the construction site, and called my boss to explain what had happened. I knew my coworkers would ostracize me, but I didn't care. This incident changed me forever. Was I still angry? Yes. Am I still angry today? Yes, but I've found ways to control that anger. Having said that, that could be, I don't know how to say this any other way. I can no longer abide bullies. I can't abide a bully whatsoever. No way. It felt really good helping Junior. It felt really good protecting him and listening to him. So I'll wrap this up with this. I suppose the moral of my tale is that people have the power to change. I certainly did. I've forgiven my father, and I've changed my ways for good. If I could go back again and ask for forgiveness for the damage I had done to my peers growing up, I'd do so in a heartbeat. Once again, bullies aren't born, they're made. The good news is that you can go and right your wrongs and change. As horrible as that accident or that incident with Junior was, I think everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe in my heart, soul, and mind that this was a wake-up call from God. Times change, and so do people. Bullies are always bullied before they're branded with the title of bully. Thank you very much for listening to me.